In the UFC, there is nothing more anticlimactic than being promoted to undisputed champion. It's like if you tried to shoot a deer and missed, and as it scurries away, it has a heart attack. It's like you're still gonna eat it, but you're gonna know deep down that you could have just stood in the woods with an air horn and got the same result. That is the situation Tom Aspinall finds himself in. He worked his entire life to accomplish one singular objective. He logged thousands of hours in the gym, destroying his body with nothing but the idea that he might one day become the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. He no doubt spent hours envisioning the crowd going insane while Dana White wraps the golden UFC logo around his waist. He's existed for 32 years on this planet, building up to one spectacular moment. And Jon Jones took that moment away from him. Tom had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to not only live the moment of his dreams, but to take the belt away from one of the greatest to ever do it, which of course would cement himself as one of the greatest to ever do it. Now his belt wraparound moment has to happen against goofy Cyril Gane, and if he loses, everything's fucked. Jon Jones is going to have a Twitter aneurysm. The White House card will be over with, so Dana can finally admit he wanted Jon back all along. Fucking Gane versus Jones 2 posters everywhere. Tom cannot lose to Cyril Gane. I won't stand for it. I'll pick it in the streets. Shit, if Tom loses and Volkov wins, even if Jon Jones doesn't come back, we're going to be looking at fucking Gane versus Volkov 3. Somebody guide me into traffic. Also, the odds are not helping. Let me click them. How do you go from a minus 145 against Francis to plus 150 against Jon Jones to a plus 330 against Tom Aspinall? Heavyweight is way too random for me to feel that comfortable with these goofy odds, and all it does is increase the already maximized expectations for Tom's performance. When in reality, as seemingly unstoppable as Tom is, he's dealing with a guy who a lot of people thought was gonna starch Jon Jones. This 245-pound monster who moves like a middleweight is gonna out-technical Francis Ngannou. That's what everybody said before UFC 270. All of a sudden, it's 2025. His only professional losses are to Jon and Francis, and he's still looked at like an easy dub for Tom, but that's just not the case. He's going to be an incredibly difficult puzzle to solve on the feet. You might think you've seen Cyril Gane dance, but you have not seen third and final undeserved title shot urgency Cyril Gane. There should be an over-under on 1,000 steps. Also, we have no idea how many improvements he's made on the ground over the last year, but we do know that he's had almost an entire year to make improvements. That's way too many wrestling sessions with a fucking Left 4 Dead tank for me to feel comfortable here. I don't feel comfortable. On paper, Tom takes 3 teep kicks, counters the 4th with a flurry of laser-guided missiles. Cyril's gonna do his best to counter-strike, thinking Tom wants to bang. Tom then shoots when it's least expected, takes him down easily, and at that point, it's executioner's choice. Just pick a limb or an airway, or pound him out, whatever the fuck you want to do. That's the official government narrative, but it doesn't put me at ease whatsoever. Especially when you consider the fact that we got Bo Nickal's incineration, Alexander Volkanovski's resurgence, Jean Silva's humbling, both Alex Pereira and Charles Oliveira's downfall and subsequent resurgence, all in the same year. It has been Christmas presents on a conveyor belt, but as the redneck side of my family would say, at some point, our chickens are going to come home to roost. I think about Diego Lopez versus Jean Silva, right? And the people's victory is one thing, but the way the main event played out from the start of Diego's walkout to the end of the fight was a chef's kiss masterpiece. After Jean enters the cage, the lights go out. The Noche crowd goes absolutely fucking bananas. Then the stadium lights up ruby red while what can only be described as the Hotel California of Mexican music blasts through the speakers. The producer's transition to Diego Cam was perfectly synchronized with the lyrics dropping, and literally everybody in the building became Mexican and started dancing. I understand that it's UFC Noche, but when you see white dudes in Sabbath t-shirts pumping their fists, you know that you've bridged the gap between the audience and the entertainment. And you didn't have the normal ring girls with the personality of fucking 2x4s. You had the most delicious Latinas I've ever seen in my life, swinging their hips to the walkout song like they actually want to be there, for one. But for two, their job of being an object didn't start until the cage doors were closing. But the Diego vibes were so infectious that they couldn't resist giving the boys some extracurricular booty. That shit never happens. Top it off with a back and forth CTE fiesta, a spinning elbow comeback, and a post-fight punch to show everyone how full of shit John Silva's mid-round friendliness is. That is a 10-layer cake made of Reese cups and cookie dough. We are blessed to have so many pro-us outcomes in the year 2025, and we will be blessed if that trend continues at UFC 321. Please, Tom, for the love of all things holy, we need Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall at the White House. I don't give a fuck if neither of them are American. This is not about lining the fight card with different versions of Sean Strickland. This is about making the greatest fight card in the history of the sport. And right now, even if you include Ilya versus Islam at 170, or Merab versus Volk, or Conor McGregor versus anyone, Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira is the #1 super fight of this generation. And the only thing standing in the way of that fight becoming a reality is one smelly point-fighting Frenchman who should frankly just take a nap under a bus tire. Knock him the fuck out and make heavyweight exciting again. Tom Aspinall, please.